Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. I am your host, Harrison Graham. Let's talk about tight ends again, because why not? We all know that the Bears need to upgrade at the tight end position. Plus, our friends at Fansided suggest that LSU tight end prospect Thaddeus Moss can fix all of the Bears' problems in 2020. Now, while I'm not willing to go that route, and I'm not willing to go that far, I do think this is something worth exploring. Look, Thaddeus Moss had a nice season for LSU. The Bears had the worst tight end production in the NFL. I'm certainly worth exploring this. Now, Moss is probably in that round 3 range as a draft prospect. We'll see what he does at the Combine, which is just around the corner. Obviously, Randy Moss's son, so he's been in the headlines quite a bit here, but did benefit from catching balls from Joe Burrow, played alongside some NFL receivers and Justin Jefferson and next year's first-round pick Jamar Chase, but he's a capable player. I think he's a day 2 pick, 3rd round most likely. Maybe he slides into the 2nd round with a strong combine, but I do think he falls in round 3, which could be a bit problematic if you're trying to draft Thaddeus Moss because the Bears don't have a 3rd round pick. Now, I do think it's pretty likely that Chicago, or maybe likely is not the wrong word, possible might be a better word, that Chicago could slide down in the draft from one of those 2nd round picks, get an extra pick later in the draft, get a 3rd round pick perhaps. That would be more of the range to draft Moss. I'm not taking Moss as a top 50 pick. I think that's too rich for him. We'll see. Maybe he slides, and if that 4th round projected comp pick comes through for Chicago for Adrian Amos, that could be an option as well. Again, some of those pick numbers subject to change once all of the comp picks come through for all 32 NFL teams. But Thaddeus Moss, something worth exploring. The tight end position as a whole, definitely worth exploring, which makes me ask you this question. Do you want the Bears to draft or sign a tight end? What would you prefer? Would you rather draft one, sign one? We haven't talked about the draftable tight ends much, like we're starting to do with Thaddeus Moss here today. We talked about tight ends they could target on the open market. That video is up on our Bears Only channel, youtube.com/BearsNow. But let me know. Type D for draft, type S for sign on which route you'd rather go as far as tight ends go. I just mentioned it. Our brand new Bears channel launched just over a month ago, trying to get to 3,000 subs by the end of the month. I did the math. If we get like 45 subscribers a day, we're going to get to 3,000, which we're blowing that out of the park. We got over 70 just yesterday alone. So we're continuing to grow this thing. I mentioned tight end free agency targets. We got that video up on the channel. We got draft rumors. We got mock drafts coming your way, a new cut coming up on the channel from my man Tom Downey very, very soon, so be on the lookout for that. Bears Q&A, use hashtag Bears in the comments. I mentioned that yesterday. We're going to have a new Bears mailbag coming out probably next week. YouTube.com/Bears Now. Let's get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of the month. By the way, to make it easy for you guys, a little white bar is going to appear on the top of your screen right as I'm saying this. You click that link, you can go subscribe to our Bears Only channel. Now, more on Thaddeus Moss. Obviously, pretty good season last year. 47 catches, 570 yards, over 12 yards grabbed, 4 touchdowns. Keep in mind, too, he had his biggest games in the 2 biggest games of the season. He had 2 touchdowns in the college football playoff semifinal game against Oklahoma, 1 touchdown against Oklahoma, 2 touchdowns in the national title game against Clemson. So his best game of the year and the biggest game of the year. So Thaddeus Moss, a player who got better as the season went along. I think he's in that 3rd round range. He would certainly, in my opinion, be an upgrade from what the Bears have now because, guys, close your eyes because they might start bleeding when you look at this graphic. Not a single Bears tight end had 100 yards last year. Are you kidding me? That is the worst tight end production I've ever seen. Obviously, Trey Burton was paid to be that guy, was banged up last year, could never get things going. Mitchell Trubisky certainly didn't play well last year, but 91 yards as your leading tight end guy, and most of that was in one game from J.P. Holtz against the Dallas Cowboys. That is absolutely brutal. They have got to get better at this position, to say the least. Who will be the Bears starting tight end in 2020? If it's Trey Burton, we got problems. That's all I got to say. His best days are clearly behind him. He's had some injuries. He's not the same guy. I'm down to keep him as maybe a backup or something like that, but I think it's very clear he is not a starting caliber tight end at this point in his career. Let me know who's going to be the Bears starter at tight end. Now, while the Bears starter might be up for debate, what's not up for debate is getting your significant other some flowers. You're running out of time. Valentine's Day is this Friday, just a few days away. Chatsports.com/flowers. our partner Pro Flowers, they've got goodies as well. They got chocolates, they got cookies, all kinds of stuff, 15% off. And the best part is they're going to deliver it to your significant other. You don't have to worry about any of it. They'll take care of all of it. Chatsports.com/flowers. Take advantage of this deal, 15% off. Just a couple of days left here, so go ahead and do that before Friday hits and you start to panic, because I have experience in that direction. This ain't it, guys. I showed you guys the production. This is the best I can gander at the current depth chart at tight end. Trey Burton is the starter. Shaheen Braunecker is the backup guys. Saubert, Clark, and Dax Raymond are also on the roster. Now, J.P. Holtz flashed a little late in the year. He's set for free agency. Maybe you bring him back as like your third tight end. I wouldn't hate that, but there's some of you guys in the comments that think he could be a starter. That is simply not the case. He is a tight end 3 at best. Got to improve in this area. Hopefully Trey Burton can bounce back, but I think that's a little bit of fool's gold here. He's not the player he once was. These are the top 5 tight end prospects, according to my guy Tom Downey here at Chat Sports. One of the best NFL draft analysts in the game. I recommend you follow him at WhatGoingDowney on Twitter. Cole Kmet is the top guy, the guy out of Notre Dame. Adam Trotman, Bryson Hopkins, Hunter Bryant, and then Thaddeus Moss at number 5. Those first couple of guys, probably round 2 guys. Hopkins, Bryant, Moss, more like round 3 guys. Maybe one of those guys falls to the 4th round. That's kind of what we're looking at. Not the super strongest tight end core in 2020. Thank you so much for watching Chicago Bears Now. If you want more on this rumor about Thaddeus Moss and the Chicago Bears, plus my top 3 tight ends the Bears should target in the draft, watch this video right here. It's already up on our Bears Only channel. Plus, if you want more Bears videos all offseason long, I'm talking draft, free agency, rumors, news, all kinds of stuff, Q&As, hit this subscribe button. Subscribe to Chicago Bears Now. Go Bears.